The lights in the examination chamber were soft, pale blue, glowing like morning fog drifting across calm water. Captain Elias Ward slowly opened his eyes, confused by the strange hum surrounding him. The room didn't look like any Earth medical bay or military ship he had ever seen. The walls curved gently, smooth as polished stone, with organic patterns glowing beneath their surface. The air smelled faintly metallic, mixed with a sweet scent he couldn't place. He tried to lift his arm, but he felt pressure on his shoulders and legs, as though something kept him still. Elias looked down and froze. Every piece of his uniform was gone. He wasn't hurt, just exposed in the center of a room filled with alien observers who had never seen a human before. Tall figures with shimmering silver skin and long, graceful limbs stood around him, their large violet eyes unblinking. They weren't threatening him, but they were studying him with deep curiosity, as though he was the rarest artifact in the galaxy. He swallowed hard, trying to steady his breathing. He had been through combat training, survival missions, interplanetary deployments, enemy captures, yet nothing had prepared him for this moment. He tried again to sit up, and this time the pressure holding him eased, as though responding to his thoughts. The platform beneath him shifted slightly, adjusting to his movements like a living creature. One of the aliens stepped forward. She was taller than the others. Her silver skin mixed with faint gold like sunlight reflecting off water. Her hair fell in soft strands that glowed faintly, and her voice sounded melodic when she finally spoke. "You are conscious," she said. "Your life functions are stable." "Good. We feared the jump through the gravity rift might have harmed you." Elias blinked. Where am I?" "In the research vessel of the Valen Collective," she replied calmly. "I am Dr. Lyra Wren. I oversee biological study." He stiffened at the word, study. His mind immediately flashed to invasive procedures, forced experiments, and all the worst possibilities. But Lyra noticed the tension in his face. She tilted her head slightly, her expression softening. "Do not fear. Our intention is not to harm you. We rescued you." That surprised him. "Rescued me? From what?" "Your ship was collapsing inside a gravitational tear," she explained. "Your hull would have folded within seconds. We acted quickly." Elias remembered the patrol ship shaking violently, alarms blaring, the stars twisting in impossible patterns. And then, a bright flash. He had thought he was dead. "You saved me," he said quietly. "Yes," Lyra replied. "And now we seek to understand your species, so we may assist in returning you home." Elias took a slow breath. His heart still raced, mostly because he was standing uncovered in front of a group of aliens who seemed fascinated by every detail of him. He forced himself to straighten his posture, keeping his voice steady. "If you want cooperation," he said carefully, "it would help if I had clothes." The aliens exchanged glances, confused. One Valen scientist whispered something to another. Lyra raised a hand to quiet them. "We removed your coverings because they were damaged and contaminated by the rift's radiation," she said gently. "But if modesty is important to your people, we will provide replacements." Elias nodded, relieved. "Yes, it's very important." "Yes." Lyra walked to a console, pressing her palm to its surface. The chamber hummed softly, and a small panel opened, revealing a folded garment made of flexible, shimmering fabric. She handed it to him, watching curiously as he wrapped it around his waist and shoulders like a robe. The material clung to him lightly, warm and soft. "Thank you," he said. "Grateful for even that much." Lyra studied him with a thoughtful expression. "You react strongly to exposure," she observed. "Your emotional levels changed quickly when you realized you were uncovered." "Humans value privacy," he explained. "It's a cultural thing." Lyra nodded slowly. "Interesting. The Valen share information openly. We do not hide our forms." He wasn't sure how to respond to that, so he focused instead on the many eyes still watching him. "Do all of them need to be here right now?" Lyra turned, speaking to her team in rapid Valen language, a soft, melodic flow that reminded him of wind chimes. The other scientists bowed their heads and stepped back, giving him space. Some left the chamber entirely, muttering excitedly about their observations. Elias finally exhaled. "Thank you. You are uncomfortable," she said. "We will adjust our methodology. Your emotional stability is essential." He almost laughed at the phrasing. "Humans don't enjoy being put on display." "Then we must understand why." She moved closer, her violet eyes gentle, not invasive. Elias realized she wasn't studying him like a specimen. She was observing him like a diplomat, trying to understand a new culture. Her voice remained soft, her movements respectful. "When your coverings were removed," she continued, "our initial expectation was that you would feel unburdened. Instead, you reacted with distress. May I ask why bodily concealment matters to humans?" Elias rubbed the back of his neck. The robe was thin, but at least he wasn't fully exposed now. "It's about dignity," he explained. "We show parts of ourselves only to people we trust. Being uncovered in front of strangers feels vulnerable." Lyra listened intently. "Your species experiences vulnerability differently than we do. This is valuable knowledge." He nodded. "I'm glad it's helpful." She stepped back, giving him polite distance. "We will revise all procedures to respect human boundaries." 2. Elias appreciated the effort. He glanced around the chamber again. The walls pulsed faintly with blue energy, responding to movement. The platform beneath him adjusted when he shifted his weight. Everything here felt strange yet alive. "What do you plan to do next?" he asked. "We wish to understand your biology," Lyra answered, "but only with your permission." That surprised him even more. He had expected force, not consent. "What kind of tests?" "Non-invasive scans, observations of movement, measurement of your physical capabilities." Simple tasks. He considered that. "No cutting? No needles? No surgery?" Her eyes widened. She shook her head quickly. "Harm a rescued being? Absolutely not. That would violate our core ethics." Elias felt tension leave his chest. For the first time, he truly believed they meant no harm. "All right," he said. "I'll cooperate within reason." Lyra placed her hand over her heart. "You honor us," Elias Ward. Hearing his name spoken gently by an alien felt surreal. He couldn't help but feel a strange warmth beneath the confusion. She motioned to the platform. "The first test will be a simple energy scan. Please remain still. It will not touch you." The chamber dimmed slightly. Rings of soft light formed above him, descending slowly. They hummed quietly as they passed through the robe and skin, leaving a faint tingle behind. Lyra watched the display with fascination, her eyes bright. "Incredible," she whispered. "Your energy signature is unlike anything we've recorded." Elias raised an eyebrow. "Is that good?" "It is remarkable. Humans contain dense biological energy, more than twice what Valen bodies produce." "That sounds impossible," he muttered. "Yet it is true." She approached him again, more carefully this time. "Elias, your species may be far more extraordinary than you realize." Before he could respond, the chamber lights flickered. A deep alarm sounded low, throbbing, like a heartbeat echoing through metal. Lyra stiffened, her expression changing from curiosity to concern. "What's happening?" Elias asked. "The captain is requesting immediate presence," she replied. "A matter involving your scan." "My scan caused a problem?" "I do not know. But it is urgent." She gently tapped a control panel. The restraints fully released, and the platform lowered until Elias could step off. His robe shifted around him as he moved, and he adjusted it with a frustrated sigh. Lyra noticed the gesture. "We will craft more appropriate coverings immediately. For now, this will do." He followed her through a curved doorway into a long corridor shimmering with soft light. Alien crew members paused as they saw him, whispering in awe, not fear. Some looked confused. Others looked impressed. A few even bowed slightly. Elias frowned. "Why are they looking at me like that?" Lyra breathed out slowly. "Because your energy readings are Astonishing. And because your physique and biological form are unlike anything they have ever seen, that's not necessarily a good thing. It is not a bad thing either. They entered a round chamber where the ship's captain waited. She was taller than Lyra, with stern features and glowing markings across her cheeks. She studied Elias with piercing interest. "So," the captain said, "this is the human." Elias stood his ground. "Yes, I'm the human. The scan results," she said, "suggest that your species is far more advanced physically than predicted. This changes everything." Elias swallowed. "Changes what?" The captain leaned forward. "Everything about how we treat you, how we protect you, and how the galaxy might react if they learn what a human truly is." Elias felt a chill run through him, but he also felt something else: curiosity, bravery, and a strange sense of destiny forming around him. Whatever the aliens expected from him, it clearly wasn't what he expected from them, and this was only the beginning. The moment Elias stepped into the command chamber, he sensed the pressure in the air, not physical, but emotional. Every Valen officer inside the room watched him with wide, glowing eyes, whispering softly behind their hands. Their attention wasn't hostile, but it was intense, as if they were witnessing the arrival of some rare, mythical creature they had only read about in ancient records. The captain, Serana Vey, kept her gaze steady on him. Her patterns of light shifted slowly across her cheeks, a sign of deep concentration among her species. Elias stood taller, adjusting the thin robe around him, wishing it felt less like fragile fabric and more like actual clothing. Even so, he maintained a calm expression. If they respected strength, he needed to show it. Lyra stepped beside him, her posture protective in a quiet way. "Captain, please speak gently. Humans are sensitive to overwhelming attention." Serana nodded thoughtfully. "Understood. I forget that our ways are not the same." Elias appreciated that. "What exactly did the scan show? Why does everyone look at me like I'm glowing?" Serana activated a holographic panel that floated in the air between them. Lines of energy readings danced across it, spikes, waves, patterns he didn't understand. But the Valen officers seemed almost frightened by them. "This," Serana said, pointing at the bright center of the display, "is your base energy output." He squinted. "Looks messy." "To us," Serana explained, "it is unbelievable. Your energy potential is far above ours. If these readings are correct, Elias, you produce more raw biological energy than any warrior in the Valen collective." Lyra whispered. "It could even surpass our royal guardians." Elias shook his head. "That can't be right. Humans aren't special. We're strong, but we aren't superpowered." Serana's gaze didn't move. "You underestimate yourself. This is why we needed to speak." Another officer, smaller and pale blue in color, stepped forward. "Captain, if other species learn how powerful humans truly are, they may fear him. Or try to take him." "Take me," Elias echoed sharply. "Understand," Serana said, stepping closer. "The galaxy has many factions. Some are peaceful, some are not. Some seek power at any cost. If they learn a human carries such energy, they may try to control you, use you as a weapon." Elias went silent. That idea chilled him more deeply than anything so far. He wasn't a weapon. He never wanted to be one. But he could tell Serana wasn't threatening him. She was warning him, protecting him even. Lyra touched his arm gently, her voice soft. "You are safe here, Elias. We did not bring you aboard to use you. We only wanted to understand you." Her touch was warm, and her sincerity broke through some of the fear tightening inside him. "What do you plan to do then?" Elias asked quietly. Serana folded her hands behind her back. "First, we must find a way to shield you from outside detection. The tests we perform must be gentle and controlled. Nothing that risks drawing attention. Second," Lyra continued, "we wish to understand why your energy is so high. Is it unique to you? Or is it common among all humans?" Elias thought for a moment. "I'm not special on Earth. I'm a pilot. I'm fit. But I'm not some biological miracle." "That," Sarana said firmly, is why this discovery is so important. The chamber grew quiet as the Valen officers watched him with mixed awe and concern. Elias suddenly felt the weight of their expectations pressing on his shoulders. He wasn't alone, but he was different now in their eyes. Sarana lowered the hologram. We will continue studying your abilities, but only with your consent. Elias took a slow breath. I'll cooperate. But only if you treat me like a person, not an object. Sarana bowed her head. You have my promise. The tension eased a little. Lyra guided him out of the room, her steps slow so he could follow comfortably. The corridor outside felt calmer than before, its glowing patterns shifting gently. A few passing Valen guards paused to look at him, whispering. But they stepped aside respectfully. You handled that well, Lyra said softly. Did I? Elias asked. Because it felt like I was about to faint. She gave a small smile. Your emotions were controlled. That is strength among my people. He sighed. I just hope your captain isn't exaggerating. No, she replied. Sarana does not exaggerate. She is precise. And she is worried for you. When Hedip remember. Elias rubbed his temples. I didn't ask for this energy thing. I didn't even know it existed. Power does not ask permission to exist, Lyra said. It is simply there. Her words lingered in his mind as they reached another chamber. Lyra placed her palm against a glowing pad, and the door slid open with a soft whisper. Inside, the room looked far different from the earlier examination area. Instead of cold medical equipment, there were soft cushions, dim soothing lights, and a large table filled with fruit-like objects. What is this? Elias asked. A comfort chamber, Lyra replied. You need time to recover emotionally. Your species values privacy and calm. Yes? He nodded. This room is for that purpose. He stepped inside slowly. The atmosphere felt peaceful, like a quiet sanctuary floating in space. Lyra walked to the table and picked up a round purple fruit. She held it out to him. This is called sarin. It restores energy and calms the mind. He hesitated. Is it safe for humans? We tested it against your biological structure, she said. It is harmless and sweet. He took the fruit with a quiet thanks and bit into it. The taste surprised him, soft, refreshing, somehow fizzy and warm at the same time. It relaxed him instantly. You like it, Lyra said with a pleased expression. It's incredible, Elias admitted. She set several fruits near him. Eat as much as you need. Elias walked around the room, adjusting the robe again. Lyra, can I ask something personal? Yes, she said, standing near him with her hands clasped. Why did you stand beside me in that chamber? You looked like you were defending me. Lyra blinked slowly, her patterns shimmering. Because you were afraid. And because your vulnerability was my responsibility. I was the one who first examined you. If you felt exposed or overwhelmed, it meant I had not protected your comfort. You didn't do anything wrong, he said gently, but you felt distress. That matters to me. Elias felt warmth in his chest again. Her sincerity wasn't forced. These aliens weren't cold scientists. They were deeply emotional in their own way. Before he could respond, the door chimed softly and slid open. A young Valen assistant entered, carrying folded garments made from shimmering fabric. Dr. Lyra, the assistant said, the clothing designed for the human is complete. Elias nearly sagged in relief. Thank goodness. The assistant handed him the garments with respectful care. Elias held them up. They were simple but elegant, like a mix between soft armor and comfortable robes. He stepped behind a curved screen in the corner to change. When he re-emerged, Lyra's eyes widened faintly. Valen didn't blush, but her patterns brightened. The clothing suits you, she said. It feels a lot better than the tiny robe, he joked. She laughed softly, a sound like wind passing through crystal. I thought so. He looked around. So what's next? More tests? Yes, Lyra said, but gentle ones. We will begin with movement studies to observe how your muscles and energy flow interact. Movement studies? Yes, Walking, running, lifting, basic actions, but only if you are comfortable. Elias nodded. That's manageable. She guided him out of the comfort chamber and into a large room with smooth floors, glowing walls, and platforms of different heights. It looked like a training hall from a science fiction movie. Several Valen scientists waited, tools floating beside them. They bowed slightly when Elias entered, not out of fear, but out of respect for someone unique. Lyra stepped forward. Elias will begin simple steps. Observe only. No crowding. The scientists backed away, giving him space. Elias rolled his shoulders, testing the new fabric. It moved perfectly with his body. All right, he said. Let's do this. He walked across the room. The floor responded to his steps, pulsing gently. Holograms appeared, tracking his posture and energy. Then Lyra asked him to jog. He jogged lightly, and the room lit up in shock. Energy flared from his steps, waves of bright white light rippling outward. The Valen gasped. Is that supposed to happen? Elias asked, slowing down. No. Lyra whispered in awe. Your energy reacts to movement. It grows stronger when you push your body. Elias lifted a small metallic cube from a platform when they asked. It weighed almost nothing in his hand. That cube is used for Valen strength testing, one scientist said. Only elite guards can lift it easily. Elias blinked. It feels like lifting a pillow. More gasps. More whispering. Each movement made them more amazed. After a few minutes, Lyra approached him slowly. Her voice soft. Elias, you are far more powerful than even your scans suggested. He swallowed. That doesn't make me dangerous, does it? No, she said. It makes you precious. A sudden alarm echoed through the hall, not a danger alarm, but a call signal. Serana's voice filled the room. All personnel, report to command. We have detected an approaching vessel. Lyra's expression tightened. It may be nothing, or it may be someone searching for you. Elias felt a cold shiver down his spine. Whatever ship was approaching, it might not be friendly, and the galaxy might already know a human was here. The soft alarm pulsed through the training hall, like a distant heartbeat. Lyra turned toward the sound, her glowing patterns shifting from calm blue to a sharp violet, a Valen sign of worry. Elias, still standing on the energy-reactive floor, felt his pulse quicken. Every Valen scientist in the room froze for a moment, then began gathering their tools with hurried hands. Elias stepped closer to Lyra. Is something wrong? She tried to speak in a steady tone, but he could hear the tension beneath it. The incoming vessel. It shouldn't be here. We are far from trade routes. Only someone searching with intention would come this deep. You think it's looking for me, he said quietly. We cannot rule that out. The scientists hurriedly cleared the room as Serana's voice echoed again from hidden speakers. All essential personnel report to command. Non-essential personnel remain in safe locations until further instruction. Lyra turned to Elias, placing a gentle hand on his forearm. You must come with me. It is safer near the command chamber. The captain will decide what to do next. Elias nodded, though unease stirred inside him. The Valen ship had rescued him. They had treated him gently, respectfully, with sincere interest, not fear or cruelty. The thought of another faction arriving, possibly with darker goals, sent a wave of protectiveness through him, not just for himself, but for the quiet kindness he had found here. They exited the training hall and stepped into a wide corridor that curved like the inside of a living shell. The soft blue glow along the walls flickered slightly, showing that the ship itself felt the tension in the air. Valen crew members moved in focused silence, adjusting controls along the walls, whispering updates into their comms. Elias kept pace with Lyra. Has this happened before? Unexpected ships showing up? Not in this region, she replied. This part of space is considered empty. No one travels here without purpose. And what kind of purpose would bring them here? Lyra paused for a moment, choosing her words carefully. If another species has heard even a fragment of your energy readings, they may want to capture you. A being with such potential would be considered extremely valuable. End quote. Elias clenched his jaw. I'm not letting anyone cage me. You will not be alone, she said firmly. The Valen Collective honors those under its protection. Up ahead, the doors to the command chamber slid open with a soft hiss. Inside, the room was filled with glowing panels, arranged in a circle, each monitored by a different officer. Captain Serana stood at the center, her posture rigid, eyes glowing sharply. Dr. Lyra, Serana said as they approached. Bring the human forward. Lyra guided Elias until he stood only a few steps from the captain. Serana inspected him for a moment, as though calculating every possible outcome. The incoming vessel is approaching at controlled speed, Serana said. Its signature does not match any Valen ships or any peaceful species we know. Elias swallowed. Hostile? Unknown. But likely, Serana answered. They have not responded to our greeting signals. Lyra spoke softly. Could they be here because of Elias? Possibly. The gravitational tear that damaged his ship may have created energy distortions. Other vessels could have tracked the disturbance. Elias rubbed the back of his neck. And they could also track your scan of me. Serana nodded slowly. We disabled external transmissions the moment your readings appeared. But some species have unconventional methods. Lyra stepped closer to Serana. Captain, what are our options? We can flee. But our engines need time to realign if we are to make a clean jump, Serana replied. We can hide him. But if the approaching vessel demands to board us, that may not be enough. Elias felt a heavy silence settle over the room. Dozens of Valen eyes turned toward him again, not studying him now, but trusting him. As if his presence meant something beyond science, he inhaled deeply. What do you need me to do? Serana's eyes steadied. Nothing yet. Your safety is priority. But you should understand what we face. Some factions believe that power should be possessed, not respected. If they learn what you are, they may resort to force. Elias stepped forward, his voice firm. Then we don't let them know. Serana arched a brow. You propose deception? Call it survival, Elias said. Just tell them you found no one. That you're repairing your ship. Pretend I don't exist. Lyra's patterns flashed faintly. Elias, hiding your existence will not be easy. Your energy signature is too strong. Elias placed a hand on his chest. Then teach me how to suppress it. Both women stared at him. Serana finally spoke. Suppressing your energy is theoretically possible, but no Valen has ever attempted to dampen another species' internal field. Then I guess I'll be the first. The room fell quiet. Serana studied him with an unreadable expression before she finally gave a slow nod. Very well. Dr. Lyra, you will instruct him. Lyra nodded and guided Elias out of the command chamber. They moved through a dim passageway toward a small meditation room, quiet except for the faint hum of the ship. The walls shifted to a gentle purple glow as they entered. This space is for energy control, Lyra said. Valen warriors use it to calm their fields before battle or diplomacy. Sit here. Elias lowered himself onto a smooth, cushioned platform. Lyra knelt in front of him, her glowing patterns dimming to a soft silver. Close your eyes, she said. He did. Focus on your breathing, your heart, your center. Her voice was calm, melodic, guiding him gently. Elias let out a slow breath, trying to quiet his tense thoughts. Your energy reacts to your emotions, Lyra continued. When you feel fear, embarrassment, excitement, your energy grows brighter. When you feel calm, grounded, grateful, it softens. Elias remembered the shockwaves he created when he jogged, his embarrassment in the examination chamber, his fear moments ago. The energy had always reacted to his inner world. Try to imagine your energy shrinking, Lyra said. Not disappearing, just drawing inward. Elias pictured a bright sphere inside him, his life. His spark slowly folding inward like a star, pulling its light closer. Good, she whispered. Very good. He didn't know how she sensed it, but he felt her approval. Now inhale slowly, and let the light dim. Elias felt warmth settle in his chest. A wave of calm washed through him. The room grew quieter somehow, as if his presence had stopped echoing against the walls. When he opened his eyes, Lyra looked at him in awe. Elias, you succeeded. He blinked. I did? She nodded, patterns brightening. Your energy field is half as strong as before. That is remarkable. Even Valen children need weeks to learn this. He let out a shaky laugh. Guess being human has some perks. Before Lyra could respond, the ship trembled faintly. A low vibration moved through the floor, like a distant roar. Lyra stood quickly. The vessel has arrived. We must go to the observation deck. They hurried through the corridors until they reached a wide chamber with a transparent wall overlooking space. The view was breathtaking, a vast sea of stars and swirling nebulae, but Elias's eyes locked on the vessel hovering nearby. It was dark, angular, sharp, like a blade forged in the void. Red lights pulsed along its hull, and its engines growled like a giant beast. That's not Valen, Elias whispered. No, Lyra said softly, voice trembling. That is a Dravik war scout, the Dravik. Elias had heard rumors, pirates, raiders, mercenaries who believed strength was the only truth. They took what they wanted and conquered what they couldn't understand. Do they know I'm here? Elias asked. Not yet, Lyra said. But they will sense something unusual soon. As if on cue, the Dravik ship sent a transmission, a booming, cold voice filling the observation deck. Valen vessel, you carry something that does not belong to you. Surrender it. Elias felt his heartbeat thud painfully in his chest. They know, he whispered. Lyra stepped closer to him, her voice fierce. We will not let them take you. The transmission continued. We sense a power aboard your vessel. Hand over the source, or we will take it by force. Elias straightened his posture, jaw tightening. He wasn't a soldier anymore. He was one human standing between two alien factions. But the Valen had shown him kindness. They had saved him, protected him. He wouldn't let them suffer because of him. He turned to Lyra, eyes steady. It's me they want. But they're not getting me. Lyra reached out and grabbed his wrist, holding it tightly. Elias, don't face them alone. I won't, he said. Because I have all of you. Before she could answer, the ship shook again, this time harder. The Dravik had locked weapons. A battle was about to begin, and Elias would need more than hidden energy to survive what came next. The Valen research vessel shook again, this time with a deep growl that traveled through the walls like thunder rolling underwater. Elias braced himself against the observation deck railing, while Lyra steadied her stance beside him. Her glowing patterns shifted from violet to sharp gold, a rare color he had never seen before, one that meant fierce determination among her people. Captain Serana's voice boomed through the ship's internal channel. All hands to defensive positions. The Dravik vessel has armed its weapons. Prepare for impact. The Dravik ship hovered dangerously close, its dark hull glowing with streaks of red energy. Elias could feel the tension building like a tightening rope, ready to snap. The Valen were peaceful scientists, not warriors. They had shields and basic defense systems, but they weren't built for full-scale battle. Elias turned to Lyra. Is there any way to stop them without fighting? She shook her head slowly. The Dravik do not negotiate. They take what they sense. They believe power belongs only to the strong. Well, Elias muttered, I guess we have to show them they're wrong. Lyra reached for his hand without thinking, gripping it tightly. Elias, listen to me. You suppressed your energy earlier, but now you may need to do the opposite. If the Dravik sense a rising force, they might think this ship is more dangerous than it looks. You want me to frighten them? He asked. No, she said. I want you to protect us with your presence, not with violence. He nodded, understanding. Okay. Tell me what to do. She guided him away from the observation deck and into a narrow corridor that led toward the central power chamber. The ship trembled again as they walked, this time from a direct hit to the shields. The lights flickered, and officers shouted updates into their comms. Shields at 70%. Energy grid is stable. Captain, they're charging a second shot. The Valen crew kept calm despite the danger, but their movements were fast and tense. Elias felt his heart race as he and Lyra entered a large circular chamber glowing with purple and blue energy streams. It reminded him of a beating heart at the center of a massive creature. "This is the core," Lyra said. "The Valen ship senses emotional energy. It reacts to the crew's fear, their hope, their determination. If you connect with the core, it may amplify your energy field." Elias blinked. "Wait, am I supposed to merge with your ship?" "Not merge," she said gently. "Just let it feel you. Let it sense your intent to protect." He stared at the glowing heart of the ship. If what Lyra said was true, this ship wasn't just metal. It was partly a living organism, responsive, emotional, reactive. "And if it senses me wrong?" Elias asked quietly. Lyra stepped close, placing her hands on both sides of his face. Her touch was soft, her voice steady. "It will not. Because I am with you." Her closeness, her confidence, those calmed him more than any training ever could. Elias took a deep breath and stepped toward the platform at the center of the chamber. A soft pulse of light rose from the floor, reacting instantly to his presence. "Place your hands here," Lyra instructed, pointing to two glowing panels shaped like open palms. He placed his hands on them. The platform vibrated gently beneath his feet. His heart pounded hard, but he closed his eyes and remembered what Lyra taught him. Focus. Breathe. Feel the center of your energy. "Elias," Lyra said softly behind him, "pull your energy inward. Then let it rise like a tide." And one. He inhaled slowly. He pictured the bright sphere inside him, the same one he had imagined before his life force. But instead of dimming it, he pictured it growing larger, warmer, brighter, stronger. At first, nothing happened. Then the platform glowed white. Lyra gasped. The entire core chamber brightened, reacting to him. The energy streams floating through the walls shifted color from purple to brilliant gold. A hum filled the air, low at first, then rising like a song being sung by the ship itself. Elias felt warmth spreading through his chest, down his arms, into the panels he touched. His energy flowed out of him like a controlled river. It didn't feel dangerous. It felt natural, like something inside him had always been waiting for the right moment to awaken. The ship responded instantly. A deep voice echoed through the chamber, not spoken, but felt. Presence acknowledged. Strength accepted. Host protected. Lyra dropped to one knee instinctively, overwhelmed by the ship's reaction. Elias, still standing, felt a strange connection forming between him and the vessel. It wasn't controlling him, it wasn't even speaking like a person. It was simply recognizing him and accepting him. The lights along the chamber walls flared brighter. And then, the entire ship shuddered violently. But this time, it wasn't from an attack. It was from power being unleashed. The shields strengthened. The hum of the engines deepened. The Valen officers throughout the ship gasped as their panels lit up with readings beyond anything they'd ever seen. On the bridge, Captain Serana stared at her display in disbelief. What is this surge?" An officer stammered. "Captain, the shields have tripled in strength. The Dravic weapons can't break through." Another voice cried out. "Their targeting systems are failing. Our energy is disrupting theirs," Serana whispered. The human. Back in the core chamber, Elias kept his hands on the panels as his energy synced with the ship's. He could sense the Valen crew. The tension. The fear. The hope. He could feel Lyra, kneeling nearby, her presence steady and warm. His energy rose higher, a bright, controlled wave. Outside, the Dravic ship fired another blast. But the Valen vessel didn't shake. The shield absorbed the attack and reflected a surge of light that struck the Dravic hull, disabling their engines instantly. On the observation deck, the crew gasped as the Dravic vessel drifted, powerless. Inside the core chamber, Elias breathed heavily, slowly drawing back his energy as Lyra approached him. She placed a hand on his shoulder, her voice trembling. "You saved us." Elias pulled his hands away from the panels, the light dimming gradually. He turned to her. sweat on his forehead but a calm expression in his eyes. You showed me how. She smiled softly, a deep warmth in her glowing patterns. No human has ever connected with a Valen ship. This is historic, beautiful, impossible, he chuckled weakly. Story of my life lately. Before either could say more, Serana entered the chamber with her officers. She looked at Elias with something far deeper than respect, something close to awe. Elias Ward, Serana said, you have done what no warrior of our people has ever achieved. You protected us not with weapons, but with your own life energy. Elias shrugged slightly. I just didn't want anyone getting hurt. You saved hundreds of lives, Serana said. And you turned away a threat that has long haunted our borders. He blinked. The Dravik were that dangerous? They were feared, Serana said. But now, after today, they will fear us. Lyra stepped beside Elias, her hand brushing his lightly. Captain, what happens now? Serana took a deep breath. We will escort the human back to his home, if he wishes. Or he may stay with us, as an honored guest of the Valen Collective. Elias looked at Lyra. Her patterns glowed softly, warmly, as she met his gaze. You are free, Elias, she said, but you are not alone. He looked at the Valen around him, at the ship he had bonded with, at the people who had gone from curious scientists to willing protectors, and at Lyra, whose kindness had guided him through every moment of fear. A slow smile formed on his face. I'll go home, he said, but not forever. My world is Earth, but I think I have another home now too. Lyra's eyes softened. Then we will wait for you. Serana bowed her head. Human or Valen, you are now a bridge between our people. Elias placed a hand over his chest, feeling the lingering warmth of the energy he had shared. Then let's keep building that bridge. Outside the observation deck, stars drifted silently across the endless dark. One human, one alien scientist, and an entire ship bonded by courage and trust. And somewhere in that vast galaxy, the story of the human who shined brighter than expected had only just begun.